Hello, everybody, and happy Thursday. Happy fall. We're so excited to be here with you. I'm Sivan. I oversee product operations here at Sense, and I'm so excited to be joined with Brian Hartstock, who from our beloved CS team. Welcome, Brian.
Hey, how's it going?
Oh, it's going so well. This is so exciting to have you because this topic is something that we have heard forever from almost every single person that we've talked to about really just driving reviews, Google reviews for your laundromat, and how important that could be. And so we are so excited. Catherine, April, thank you for being here. Um, just a couple of notes. If this is your first webinar with Sense, we're excited that you're here. I want to remind you that you're able to drop in questions in the chat, in the Q&A. And while Brian will be presenting, I will be kind of throwing questions his way. We definitely want to make sure to go through all of those together. But we have an hour filled with incredible information about Brian's expertise. Actually, Brian, before I even dive in, I know this is going to be your first slide, but before you even share this slide, tell me a little bit about yourself and like what makes you so passionate about this topic.
Yeah, so it's funny, I was thinking about this the other day, and I'll try to keep it as brief as possible. So getting personal real quick. So my father owned a small business. Both my grandfathers owned a small business, and they they struggled for a long time. And so for me, I've always been very passionate, and I actually ended up owning a small business myself. And I always think of them when I'm helping people to grow their own business. And so for me, it's kind of like I get to work vicariously to help them, even though my grandfathers have passed away. That's kind of the I guess you could say the core of my motivation. And then once you dive into, for me, a lot of like the analytics and the marketing and stuff, I don't know, naturally passionate about that side of things. And I love to see people win. Like I said, I'm a CSM, so I get to work customer facing, and for some reason it always comes out. It's just like I want my people to win.
Of
So,
course.
so yeah. Um,
That is really beautiful. I don't know if I was the only one getting choked up, but that was really beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And we are just really excited to hear what you have to share. Let's dive in.
Great.
Let's get straight into it. Let's talk a little bit
Okay.
about Google reviews. Again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. But so excited to just be here for the masterclass on Google reviews.
Great. Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen real quick so you guys can all see. Savon, you can give me the thumbs up real quick.
Yeah,
Hold on one sec.
you're good.
Cool.
Beautiful.
Okay. Well, sweet. So yeah, today we're going to talk about strategies for growth. Really how to attract customers and increase the order volume. Let me see if how I have to do this. There we go. Okay, so let's talk again. I'm gonna do another little intro about me. So why I'm here. So for the past 15 years, I've been working with small businesses. I mean, I worked at Home Advisor. I worked at Angie's List. I even consulted for small businesses. I had my own small business, and my focus was always marketing automation and growth strategies. And so today, um, I'm gonna make it really simple. We're gonna share really mainly one thing. It's a cost-free strategy that will help you drive real results. Cool?
Yes. And just a little fun fact. A lot of the early team members at Sense somehow came from the home remodeling industry. And it's funny to be reminded that you came from Home Advisor, Angie's List. It was like we have a lot of people from that. Matt, yeah, Matt, Jack, Kevin, everybody. Wow.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay.
So the next thing is at the end of this presentation, I want to give you guys gifts. Again, I want you to win, so I want to give you gifts and tools so that you can win. So first thing, I want to give you all the ranking factors that Google has. Google kind of keeps these ranking factors, I don't want to say secret, but a lot of the professionals within inside the marketing world has to they have to test things to find out what actually affects Google. And you're going to be able to get the whole list. I'm going to give you an easy step-by-step guide to optimize your Google Business Profile, and it has been recently updated. I actually updated the video today, so there's been some updates on it. And then finally, I'm going to give you a weekly optimization checklist. So stay to the end. You'll be able to see all this stuff, and Jesse's going to send it to you as well if you've joined this meeting. So
Yeah.
let me keep going. Okay, so let's jump into the problem that we all share, right? So this is what we want. We want to make sure we rank as high as we can on Google, and we want to be here. We want to be at the top. Uh, what we don't want, obviously, is to be at the bottom. And it's a really simple problem, but there's certain factors that come into this. So how do we get to the top of Google? I'm going to start with the bad news. There's no silver bullet. There's no one thing that you do. There's no watch this one YouTube and it will do everything for you. Um, but here's the good news. It's really small and simple things that you can do over a period of time that's going to help you rise to the top. And today we're going to discuss what I think is the most important, as we kind of already know. We said this at the beginning, reviews. So why reviews? So this is a quote by Bright Local. You guys might not know this, but they're one of the local business companies, and they create software for local business marketing. They said approximately 96% of consumers read online reviews for local businesses, and 88% of those determine a business's reliability based on those reviews. Now, it's the same sentiment shared by Sterling Sky, White Spark, Local Falcon, and Review Academy. You guys might be like, I have no idea who those people are, right? These are other big names in the industry of local business marketing. So, speaking of other big names in local business marketing, so is White Spark's Darren Shaw. Again, you don't know who he is, but here's what he says. He put reviews as in the S tier. Now, this is a tier list. For those that understand this, the S tier is the top tier and the most important tier. And this was updated 6 weeks ago, and he said reviews are one of the most important things that you can do for business. I highly recommend you follow him on YouTube. He's super smart when it comes to marketing and local business. Cool. So I'm going to share with you guys some recent wins. So I I as a CSM, I try to help holistically. We're called fractional business partners. And one of the things I like to do with some of the customers that I work with is help them to acquire reviews with and leverage the tools that we have. So recently I helped a customer with reviews, and in a matter of months, he went from 663 customer interactions to over 1,000 customer interactions through his Google Business Profile. Um, Likewise, there was a customer that I helped her with reviews on the right side, and she said, Hey, I got 2 new reviews and this. And I said, 2 new reviews? I love it. Did you get 3 orders today? And she says, I sure did. Yes. So again, these are the results of getting more and more reviews. And Savan, if you need to just like interrupt, or you have a question, or if someone has a question, just like type it in, shout it out, I'll answer it.
I will definitely jump in, but I'm just see
Cool.
this.
Awesome. All right. Moving on. So, analogy time. You guys ready? This is you. You're a laundromat owner. You've got your basket of laundry ready to do some wash and fold. And in fact, you're doing so well in your laundromat business that you decide to buy a Ferrari. Yes, a
God
Ferrari.
willing, baby.
Right. The same Ferrari that you drove at the Laundry CEO Forum. Waleed Cope, the CEO Forum is in a week. If you don't have tickets, get some because I'll see you there. And last time we drove Ferraris was just fantastic. Story for another time. But you get your Ferrari, it's delivered, you hop in it, you feel that luxury, the leather, you see all the technology, you close the door because I'm sure they like pop up and down like that. And you you turn the key. Actually, let's be honest, there's no key. You have to press the start, right? We all know this in modern cars. You
Yeah,
press,
what is this? 1999,
yeah, I know,
keys?
right? No one does that. You press the start button and you're like, wait a sec, this thing's not starting. And you look around and you realize it doesn't have any gas. So just like any laundromat, it doesn't matter if you have the nicest equipment, the most beautiful interior. If you don't have gas in your tank, aka reviews, you're not going to go very far. Cool?
We
All
got
right,
it. Amazing
got it.
analogy. See you there next week.
That's right. Also, big inspiration again. I'm gonna say this again. Jordan, he's a CSM. Big shout out to him. He inspired us. So,
We love Jordan.
yes. Um, All right, so let's go through some of the review ranking factors. And I want to talk to you about what's actually important for reviews, right? So the first thing, when you're getting a review, make sure your review has some kind of content. So keywords, right? So for example, if someone writes out, "Hey, they did a fantastic job," that's great. But if they can write out their experience to say, "Hey, they did a fa fantastic job. I use their wash and fold, and their store is really clean." Those are just some of the keywords you're dropping in there, and Google can recognize it and see those things, and it'll help you rank. Likewise, pictures. If your customers can leave pictures and videos on their reviews, it's a beautiful thing. Uh, Actually, the videos they're going to want to leave on the Google Business Profile, and I can, if anybody has questions about that, they can reach out. I'll help you out. Also, there's a way to like reviews or give them a heart or like a praise. You want to do that to all the reviews, especially the ones that have pictures and are really good. It'll help them be shown more. Finally, responses. You want to respond to every single review. I'm talking every single one. Good, bad, one, two, three, four, 5 stars. It doesn't matter. Respond to them all. In a video that I'm going to send you guys at the end, there's a little guide on how to reply to 1 star reviews. It's super important that you reply to them because and you reply to them well, but you'll see it in the video. Cool. Moving on. The next important thing is your overall review rating. So, do you have a 2.0, a 3.5, a 4.0, a 4.5, a 5.0? You really want to be in the sweet spot of like the 4.5 and above. And to get there is going to help you a lot when it comes to ranking. All right,
Quick question.
talk to me.
Sorry.
Yeah.
For you mentioned keywords,
Yep.
likes and responses initially. Morgan is asking when we respond to reviews, should we be sure to use keywords as well?
Great question. So your response does not have any um,
Wait.
effect or any weight. The only thing that actually carries the weight is the fact that you interact and that you responded. So if you just say, "Hey, thank you so much. You're a fantastic customer. I love you." Great. Um, that's fine. You can throw in keywords, but it's not going to actually affect anything. Great question, Morgan. Cool. Um, So yeah, overall number of reviews is really important. And you want to be able to look at what your competitors have. Uh, I teach this in something that's coming up that I'll share with you. But you want to look at all the competitors in your area and you want to kind of chase the next person. So back in the day in high school, I would run races, run cross country, right? And I would always pick the next person I'm going to pass. And it's the same concept. If you have, say, 50 reviews and the next person that's in your area as a laundromat owner has, say, 79, your goal should be like, I'm going to pass you next. And then chase the next one and next one and next one. Cool.
Makes
All right.
sense.
This is a biggie, people. Write this one down, tattoo it on your arm. This is a biggie. Review consistency. Now, what does that mean? That means that you want to make sure you're consistent in getting reviews. You don't want to get like 100 reviews in a week and then not get another review for the next 3 months. Because Google is smart enough to recognize, oh, they just did some, uh, launch a campaign or something like that. They got a bunch of reviews and they're good. And your ranking is going to slowly drop because of that. This is a big one. Cool. All right, moving on.
Before we move on,
Yes, talk to me.
we had a really great question asked. How can you get your customers to use keywords in their reviews?
Good question. So there's a little handout that I'm gonna give you guys. Um, and it's one of those essentially that you can print out and hand it to them, and you want to guide them to it. So first thing you want to guide them to be able to get to the review really easily. So actually in the gifts, there's a way to download your QR code and then embed it inside of this little piece of paper, and you can literally give them a handout, maybe even throw a little piece of candy on there, right? And say, hey, we'd love a review. Um, and what on that, it'll say you can write and you can edit this as well, but you want to give them instructions on how to do that. Now, I wouldn't say, hey, put keywords in my, in the review, please. But you can ask, hey, when you write the review, please tell me about the service that you used and your experience, right? Makes it a lot more natural, right? Because then they can type in, oh yeah, I used the wash and fold service. Um, it was fantastic, and boom, wash and fold keyword placed in there. Cool.
One last question here
You
that
can
came in.
keep asking,
Uh,
yeah.
One of the things that you mentioned was having the benchmark be your neighboring or competitor's laundromat and the number of reviews that they have. If they this customer is the only laundromat in the area, what should the chase be?
That's a good one. So I always recommend to make sure that Chase, well, not always recommend, but if that's the case, have the chase each and every week. Say this week we want to get 5 reviews. Next week, we want to get another 5 reviews, and then be consistent throughout that month. If you're averaging 5 reviews every week and you're like, this is easy, right? Bump it up to 6. And so rather than a chase of that one other competitor, make it kind of like an internal goal as your team or with your team to be able to chase a certain number of reviews. But again, you're tying in review consistency without, having someone to chase. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I just relate this, like we were talking about earlier, like diet and exercise, like consistency is key, making those choices on a daily basis, like 5 reviews a week. I'm like, anything is possible.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, please proceed.
Okay. Let us continue. Okay. So how can sense help? Um, Sense has developed a handful of tools that you guys can implement. And the first one is Accelerate. Accelerate is a automation tool, texting tool. We'll go through it a little bit more. It's available now, by the way. Review management is currently live in beta right now, and it's a way for you to manage all your reviews in one place. Not only Google, but you can also manage Yelp reviews. And then coming soon is what's called review acquisition training. So this is a little something I cooked up myself, and I'll go into that here in a sec. So what do we do with these? So to dive into Sense Accelerate, so this is a way to automate things. Think in terms of this, think AI, right? How can you take things off your plate and to automate it? If you're requesting reviews, if you're doing a re-engagement campaign, if you want to just really, here's one of my favorite ones. Set up a campaign that after an order is completed, it's, automatically texts out, hey, how did everything go? By the way, this is the owner. I just want to make sure you had a great experience, right? Just that alone is just, as a customer, it's just like, wow, they've reached out to me. And yet maybe you set it up automated, but they don't know that. And they're gonna feel like that you care. So with this tool, you can do a bunch of different stuff. You're going to get a bunch of different analytics. You can even create certain triggers and segmentations and whatnot. So that's the first thing. The second, sorry, story time. I added this just a minute ago. I went to proceed, but it said, no, wait, tell this story. So I recently set up a campaign for one of my customers. And we were like, you know what? We're just going to set it up for 14 days and see how it does. Right. Um, and so we set it up for 14 days on every single customer that put in an order. It doesn't matter if it was a wash and fold, it was pickup and delivery. And we wanted to see how well it performed. And in 14 days, it pulled in 6 reviews. All he literally had to do is I walked him through and he did a few of these. That's the click of a mouse. So, and he set it up and it was like that. It was easy. And so again, that's going to be helping him rank higher. So I love that. I will continue to move on. Give me a sec. All right. Are there any questions on that one?
No, we're super excited to hear more stories about success. But yeah, and we'll also show you what this looks like, at the end. But yeah, I'm excited to hear about your case studies.
Yep. So next, driving review. So this is reputation management. And if you look at the top right, this is how it looks. Essentially, what it's doing is being able for our customers to be able to see all the reviews in one place, from Yelp, from Google. And these two, I would say, are probably pretty much one and two in importance of your reviews. Now, Yelp actually um, uses their reviews on Google Maps, or sorry, Apple Maps. So if someone's searching in the Apple Maps app, the Yelp reviews will also show up in there. So it's an important one that you'll want to leverage as well, or you will want to attack as well. But with the reputation management tool, you can see everything in one spot. Um, and you can send requests and do those campaigns. One other thing is I also talked with Sivan about this. I don't know if I'm allowed to share this, people. I might get in trouble. Sivan, please don't yell at me. But I talked with Francine about inside this tool, building the ability to automatically reply to customers. So you don't have to reply to every single review because replying to reviews is very important. And it hopefully maybe one day, cross your fingers, that'll be available in this tool. But right now you're gonna have full visibility inside of it. Cool.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, jump in to the next thing. This is, like I said, this is something I cooked up myself. This is called the review acquisition infrastructure, RAI for short. Um, Essentially goes through your best practices, printable templates, review kits. It's got everything you really need to make sure you're pulling in reviews like crazy. And here's the cool part. I've got a recent win. As you can see, this was 5 days ago, right? I helped, this is kind of the first case study with this. Um, helped them with the training, and in 5 days, they were able to get 9 5-star reviews, uh, replied to all of them. And from that, like I said, this isn't from 5 days. We ran some analytics and they were able to get 14 people request directions to their laundromat. Now, you might be like, who cares? They requested directions. Well, you don't ever really request directions to places you've been before, right? And this data point helps people understand, oh, this looks like a good spot. I've never been here before. Click, take me there. So, a really cool thing that has come from this training. So, yeah. Um, I don't know what I want to do next. So
I have two questions for you.
ask away.
Perfect. One question is, where would you rank the value of Yelp reviews compared to Google reviews?
Yelp is a not a close number two. Yeah, I would say Yelp is number like two or three, but Google reviews are by far number one. If you're not dominating already your Google reviews, like s- try to get there. That's most important. But if you've already like you're like, yo, I'm completely dominating right now. I've got the system down, then shift some of those reviews or those requests to Yelp, is my suggestion. And then also it's Yelp and Facebook that are kind of like right there, number two.
Amazing. Where did you want to take us next? I know you were debating. Do you want to go through, give us the options of door number one and door number two, and we'll help guide you the way.
Thanks. All right. So door number one is um I'm gonna show you a quick like a launch pad for social media. So I'm gonna teach you guys some like good social media. Say for example, you don't know anything about social media. I would say start here. Door number two is we'll go through review acquisition training gift that or the
Door number two. Door number two.
okay.
We'll save social media to the end because while it's incredibly important, let's go through reviews. And yeah,
Perfect.
April likes both doors. I choose door number two.
Okay, beautiful. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen real quick and
So,
then I'm pull
so
it
you
up.
could reshare it. So again, we're going to be emailing this. If you registered for the webinar, you're going to get an email afterwards with a link to this incredible toolkit that Brian put together. You guys are going to see it's a Google Sheet with like a lot of different resources and checklists and so on. And I know you already spoke about how you implemented this. I don't know if we want to show more, but yeah, let's go through it.
Absolutely. Okay, so let me reshare this.
And
So
Chase, yes, this is going to be recorded and sent out afterwards.
this is the review acquisition infrastructure sheet, like guidelines, right? And so I'll go through this with you guys. Um, So I created this, and everybody can get a copy of this. Jesse's going to email all of you, and when you get this link, all you have to do is literally grab this,
Make
and
a
you
copy.
make a copy, press file, make a copy, and you can have your own copy. You can edit it, change it, however you want. Or there's even a little checklist. You can check these off, right? Also, I made a video on how to make a copy. It's pretty simple. And then there's two
That's
training.
so meta.
Yeah. Right. There's two training guides that you'll use. And they're about 15 minutes each, but they kind of go pretty deep into explaining each of these things. The review acquisition infrastructure is really divided into three steps. So first step, you have to prepare. You have to make sure you have the QR codes um, available for people to scan. And I put links in here for even Canva. So if you're like, I don't know how to build anything on Canva, that's okay. I already built it for you. All you have to do is literally click in here and then it'll show you how to put your QR code. The training guide will show you how to put your QR code in here. And then all you got to do is go down to, I was about to say Kinko's. Kinko's I don't think exists anymore. But
Really?
I don't know. Is it like UPS store?
Your local copy shop? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. You can print a bunch of these out and they'll be easy to pass out, right?
And
Um,
put one by, like, get one of those on Amazon, those little like stands, those plastic stands, that you literally have linked right here. What I'm talking about. Yes.
exactly. So there's stands. I also created a Canva like business card. So if you want to put them on business cards, that's in Canva. Also lanyards. This one's kind of my favorite because you can get these lanyards that like they look professional and that people can wear. And then
Wait,
they
scroll
have,
down.
oh, sorry, they have this little extender, right? I even have an extender right here and they just like, hey, can you scan that for me? Perfect, great. And then it just like zips right back up. Just makes it really easy. You can even put like if you have IDs for your attendance, makes it look really professional, really easy to use, right?
I love it. Really
Um,
brings me back to the clean show.
right? And then you can put these business cards in here with your QR code on there. Um, oh, that's depending if you want it horizontal or vertical. So, um, and then the other one that's really important is making sure that your attendants, say if they forget the lanyard, they can just go like this. Whoops, hold on. And scroll over and they have it right on their phone. So they can be like, hey, can you scan this for me? And they scan it and they can leave a review.
So I think one thing that's really important to talk about is like, sure, we can ask attendants to do that as their background. How are we incentivizing attendants to collect reviews with their names in it? Like, how are we
Yep,
monetizing this?
yep. So it's funny. I've talked with a bunch of different companies about it, and everybody seems to do it a little differently. Um, so I
But
put
they're
this
doing something.
exactly, they're doing something. So I put a few ideas on how to incentivize your team. So the way I break it down is first thing you want to empower your team, right? This is super important to make sure, obviously, you're treating your team, and this is kind of a given, you're treating your team well, that you're a part of the team as well, that you're showing them how to do it, that they feel like they're doing it for a good cause, because they truly, genuinely care about the company. I've seen some people, I saw, I won't drop any names, but I saw and talked with a an attendant recently. I've talked with her twice in the past. She got over I think it was 3,000 reviews for her, yeah, her company, for this laundromat. But it was because she loved the owner. It was like he treated her like she was a queen. And in return, she gave tenfold back. So that's a big one, empowering. The next one I'll talk about is incentives. Some people will incentivize with like, hey, if you leave a review and your name's in it, you automatically get $5, and we'll count them all up at the end of the month, right? So that's a really popular one as well. And again, with Google, you cannot incentivize a customer to leave a review. So you can't say, hey, customer, I'll give you a free wash. Just leave me a review. Please do not do that. Um, it's one of those things where your account could get suspended and taken down. Google does not like that. Also, do not buy reviews. That will really screw up your account. You'll jump up in the rankings real quick, and then Google will catch you because they have AI now. They're just a bunch of geniuses over there in terms of technology, and then you'll completely tank. So just a few things there. Cool. Um, and then the last thing I would say is make it a core part of their job. Um, make sure they understand, just like washing and folding, you need to be requesting reviews. It's just part of your job, right? And so that's one thing I would iterate to the attendants, like, you know, you're paid to do this. So,
Yeah, it's the expectation setting as well.
yes, expectation, perfect. Um, okay. So there's three steps in this. So there's preparation, there's customer experience, asking for reviews, and there's a little bit of bonus down here. So the second part is also, is this helpful? Can you guys like throw like a little thumbs up in the I don't know where you throw them in there. Uh,
Jack raised his hand,
and
so I think that that's.
give me something if this
Oh,
is
we're getting hand raised. We're getting
okay.
hearts. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I don't want you guys like taking naps and be like, ugh. So I
Yeah.
want to make sure that's helpful. Okay, cool. So I think that's enough hands. If you want to keep throwing them up, good. Uh, So the next thing and the next important thing, once you prepare, once you have everything ready, the next important thing is the customer experience. So I'm going to rewind the clock a little bit. In college, I studied psychology, human psychology, and one of the things we'd study and work on is influencing people to make certain decisions. There's a book, highly recommend it. It's called Influence by Robert Cialdini. He's a genius when it comes to psychology and influence. And in this book, he talks about how you get people to do, it kind of sounds weird, but how do you get people to do what you want? And in this particular case, how do you get them to leave a review for you, right? And there's two factors that come into play here. The first one, the most popular one, is called reciprocity. And what he states is that there's essentially human law where if you give a gift to someone, they will want to give something back to you. And this is a law that extends across all cultures and all humans in all of time, right? And so we want to be able to have you guys and your attendants leverage this human law, let's call it, in order to get reviews. So I put a list of things that you can do and go through um, to engage in reciprocity. So uh, I'll just zip through them. So giving a piece of candy, right? I know it sounds really simple, but I would do this when I worked in a restaurant back in the day, worked at a Spanish restaurant. I would always put candy. And when I handed them the receipt and they would sign and leave a tip, that little piece of candy, believe it or not, made a difference. And they've done studies on this. The reason I did it is because I found out that you can make more money by just a little piece of candy. So that's a good one. Cup of water, cup of coffee, cup of tea. I know some people already have um, coffee stands set up or coffee pots set up, helping them fold clothes. So rather than the gift, this is more focused on service. Providing a folding board to assist them. Have you guys seen these? This brings me back.
I'm sure
Brings
that people have seen these, by the
okay.
way. Like,
Brings me back to the days, you know, back. I mean, this was like when where was it that I worked? I can't remember if it was like Hollister or American Eagle, but they have these at those department stores like Hollister, American Eagle, Abercrombie& and Fish. That was like back in the day when all that stuff was super cool. They had these folding tables that would make shirts look perfect every single time. And some people like this. Some people want that in folding. So getting one of these for 15 bucks and saying, "Hey, I'll help you fold your clothes," and making it really easy and your shirts look beautiful. Offering free dryer sheets. This is super low cost where you can give them a free dryer sheet when they're doing a dry. And it's a good one. Oh, free Wi-Fi card. So you can split up your Wi-Fi and have some of your Wi-Fi essentially be a little faster, and you can give them a card and say, "Hey, you want faster Wi-Fi? Hop on here." Right? It's a gift. Um, Coupons. Uh, so solutions, this is kind of a different one, but having quick solutions for your attendant to leverage if something goes wrong, a machine goes down, just making sure they know what the protocol is to say, like, immediately find that next thing, help them carry their laundry to the machine, help them load it up inside the machine, having a protocol if they're having a bad experience. A tour. Speaking of the lady that I talked to who got 3,000 plus reviews for this company, she would always greet people at the door. And even if she was like all the way on the other side of the laundromat, she'd be like, "Welcome." She would just like yell across. And oftentimes she'd give them a tour of the facility and find out if it was their first time there. Stickers for little kids. My kids absolutely love stickers. They love going to Trader Joe's every time we shop. That's the only place they ever want to go because Trader Joe's always gives them stickers. Carrying a Tide pen and pre-treatment solution. So when you're walking around and you can say, "Hey, does anybody have stains they need to get out?" And then helping them treat their stains for them, right? Simple gift. So a bunch of gift giving. Feel free to add to the list. Speaking of, I'm just going to give kind of like a question. Are there other ideas that you guys have that aren't on this list that you've seen work?
feel free to drop them in the chat so that we don't have dead air for just a moment. Free cookies, Marissa, chocolate, April, thank you. Lollipops for kids. Oh, love this. Yeah, also like if you have a Dollar Tree, amazing way to get some small little fun size candy. Hugs. Love that. Books to go home with the kids. We offer to move clothes to the dryer if they have to run an errand. That's really sweet also.
Yep.
We loan free dryer balls to use. We used to do a free mini sunscreen with our label on it. Love the sun protection.
Beautiful. So
Anti-aging queen.
this, I can tell you guys already are doing a lot of these things, but again, engaging that kind of law of reciprocity, give those gifts, because people will want to give back. So I'll have to add some of those to this list. Those are great. Okay, so the next part of this, though, that this doctor spoke about, or this researcher spoke about, was liking. Now, these are somewhat more passive, but I think really important. So the first thing he talked about was physical attractiveness. Now, don't don't think of like, oh, is this person just like naturally beautiful? That's not necessarily it. It's a matter of presenting yourself well, right? So are you or your attendants, whoever working them, are you looking professional? Do you present yourself well? Are you well kept? In the book, it talked about how it's got a much bigger impact than most of us think when it comes to someone liking us. So that's a good one. A similarity is the next one. So this one's kind of obvious, where it's like if you're talking to someone and you've got something in common. I mean, if it's like maybe speaking their same language, or you're the same, uh, you're also a fan of, the Eagles,
You're
or,
also extremely good looking, and our audience here, the physical attractiveness is just,
yeah,
game recognized game.
yes, that too. But anything you can relate to someone, right? Then that similarity creates liking. Jumping down to the next one, compliments. And please, if you have your attendants complimenting people, make sure they're genuine. Um, because a genuine compliment is the best. Quick story on this: the other day, I was taking my kids to daycare, and I saw someone with a another dad with a Stranger Things shirt on. Any Stranger Things fans? Any Stranger Things fans out there? Love that show. If you haven't seen it, it's a good one. Anyway, I just was just like, my man, I love that shirt. It's a fantastic shirt. He brightened up and was like, "Thank you," right? And that was it. That was the whole interaction. We didn't say goodbye. It's like, "Thanks, bro." I was like, "All right," and I just walked on. It wasn't
Great
awkward.
story.
Yeah, it was fun, and that was it. And so even things like that, um, they can brighten people's day, and just doing that can help you again with reviews. So finally, for liking, contact, and cooperative, essentially being able to have conversations with people, just starting conversations and connecting with people, is just huge, right? So if your attendants can do those things, then they are teeing everything up perfectly to get a review. Okay. So last thing, I know I'm being a chatterbox, but the last thing is asking for the review. Most important thing is just ask. And you want to make it really simple. So I put down here what to say. Hey, thanks for visiting today. If you enjoyed your experience, would you mind leaving us a quick review on Google? It only takes a minute and it helps us a lot, right? And then making it easy for them, right? QR code on here, you got a QR code there. QR codes are everywhere, right? To make them quickly scan it. Quick little thing, if they scan their review and it pops up where it's like, please enter your Google sign in and password, and people are like, oh no, I can't remember it, right? That's okay. Have them jump over to the Google Maps app. Most people that use a smartphone have Google Maps, and they can literally just search for you can help them search for the laundromat, and they can leave it right through there. Cool. Hopefully that makes sense of what I'm saying. Um,
Oh, Brian, we also have a question, and I would love if you could share your experience from your visit last Friday to your local store.
yep.
Laura is asking, how do you get your employees to ask for a review? That's our challenge.
Okay, so the challenge is getting employees to ask for the review. Um,
Hmm.
so first of all, I would say make it super easy for the employees to ask for reviews. Make sure they know how to do it. So oftentimes there's barriers that we don't know why. Are they, and understanding your employees it's super important. Are they not good with technology? They don't know how to do it? Do they not want to talk with people and ask for reviews? Um, are they too busy doing other wash and fold stuff and you have them completely slam packed with working the whole entire time that they can't interact with customers? So I would say first thing is understand what the your attendance experience is and then be able to solve based upon that. So I'll jump into an example though. Say, for example, they're not familiar with the technology. They don't know how really QR codes work or how to scan them or anything like that. What you need to do is you scroll up here and you want to make sure you practice. So if you find out it's that, practice, get your QR code on your phone and show them how to go through a review. Just one-on-one and show them how to do it, right? And make sure they can see what might go wrong and how to fix those things. But yeah, making sure you understand the why behind it is where you start, and then being able to solve based upon that why.
Love that.
Cool. Any other questions popping up?
No, not yet.
Okay, sweet. All right, so went through this, went through asking for the review. Okay, the other really important part, we kind of already went through this, but making sure you set up automations. I highly encourage people to, if they have Accelerate, start leveraging that, contact your CSM. If I'm your CSM, call me right after this, we'll get it set up. And if you don't have Accelerate, you can call your CSM and get signed up with Accelerate. Again, we can do automatic texts and automatic emails. Um,
I would also love to dive in at one point
yeah,
and show you what that looks
absolutely. I'll zip through the rest of this um, here. So the bonuses are this is a list of all Google ranking factors. White Spark, I know I mentioned him before, or this company before, but they are the ones that do a ton of research on what factors are actually influencing your Google business profile. This is a video I created. It's literally a step-by-step video on how to optimize your Google business profile. This is my YouTube channel. So if you want to follow me on YouTube, I created actually a brand new channel specifically focused on small businesses. My goal is to help at least 1 million businesses to be able to be sustainable and to, be able to succeed. So that's my goal for this particular channel. But feel free to subscribe and all that stuff. I'm going to try to put as much content as I can that's actually helpful for you guys. And then the last thing on here is a weekly checklist. This is a checklist of things that you should do every week in order to make sure you're continually optimizing and staying ahead of things. Cool.
100%. And Eric had a really good point just on the topic of, Google My Business and Google Business Profile. Eric says if people can't find you, they can't give you their money.
That's
100%.
exactly it. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
all right. Um,
Amazing. Brian, your passion for this subject is incredible. I'm so happy that we have an opportunity to have you still for another 10 minutes. I would
yep.
love if we could go through, if anybody has any questions, drop them in the chat. I'm also happy to dive into a couple of the tools that we talked about on Sense. Unless there's anything else, Brian, I know you wanted to do social media, but I think we have to do a
Yeah,
separate webinar on social media.
let's do it.
Yeah, cool. Okay, and then keep the questions coming if you have them. Again, we still have 10 minutes, so super excited to go through that with you. But wanted to talk a little bit about review management. Marissa, you asked a question earlier about the automation of being able to post to different platforms, particularly through Sends. That is, I'll show you what is possible rather than what is, not. But so basically, what we have over here is the reviews section. And so once you connect your account over here under reviews, you are able to manage everything in one place related to your Google reviews and your Yelp reviews, which is what we talked about, the importance of also eventually diversifying the two. So you'll see in this case, not the best, we got a little influx about a month ago, but haven't had anything in the last month. So this is definitely something that we would want to, take into account, take into consideration. And you're able to see over here all of the different reviews. So what's great about this is being able to respond to the reviews if you haven't yet, and it will respond directly to the poster in Google or in Yelp. And what I love about this is I can just type a response like, glad you enjoyed your visit. And we also have an enhanced with AI tool, which will allow you to utilize AI to make it a little wordier, but also just make it sound a little bit more, professional and put together. So I can go ahead and submit this response directly from here and click submit. Now, really what the review management tool gives you the ability to do is collect feedback from people. And I'm not saying Brian, help me out here because I don't want to misguide people and say, like,
Yep.
you only post if YZ, but the internal review tool here, you basically have a link that you can use that if you want to, I'm not going to use the word filter, but if you want to make sure that the best reviews only are going online, you can collect internal feedback and then prompt people to post a review if it meets your specific criteria.
So
Does
let me,
that make sense? Yeah.
yes. And can I talk a little bit on this? If you
Hmm.
want. Okay. So um, if you do that, and essentially say, hey, if anyone leaves me a 1 through 3, I'm not going to send them a Google review link. But 4 and 5s, I'm going to send them a Google review link. If you leverage it like that, it is doing what's called review gating. And I want to make sure you guys understand review gating. Google does not like that. And there's potential to um, they're not a fan of that. What I would recommend is that to follow Google's guidelines, still send out all of a review link to everyone, and that's okay. If you get a bad review, that is okay. You want to be able to respond to it the best way possible. And a lot of times, I've actually done this in my own business that I had before, was able to turn that review around. They went from a 1 star to a 5 star because, and I also want to say this, it's important that you do get 1 star reviews. And I know this is going to sound silly, but you have to understand the weak points of your business. Like some people, kind of like the kinks in your armor, right? And it's good to understand those things because then you can patch those things up. And so on my channel, I'm going to be doing videos on how to respond to those reviews, but also videos on how to, uh, there are some techniques where you can implement to get those reviews taken down. I'll share those with you guys as well if that's something that you guys are interested in. Because sometimes you'll get a review on there and you're like, I have no idea who this person is. They probably went to a different laundromat, and there's certain techniques you can implement where Google will be able to remove that for you. It's not perfect. It doesn't work every single time, but it's the best strategy that we currently have.
Oh, I want to just add to that because it goes hand in hand with a couple of the comments that are coming into the chat. Stop sharing my screen because irrelevant. But Mike says we get 30 great 5-star reviews and then a terrible 1-star review where the reviewer will say very disparaging comments about our incredible staff. How do you handle the response? Our staff takes things personally. Wow. So personal. Now we do not want to ask for reviews. Sandy said I have the same experience.
Mhm.
Eric, I don't know who you are, but I really have enjoyed your comments throughout the chat here. Eric says people often check the bad reviews to see how the owner responds. The customer judges the business on how they handle the complaints.
Eric just
So
nail on the head.
I know, like you've been really crushing it. If you want to come on to a webinar, you know.
So I'll say this, when you have bad reviews and someone sees, because a lot of people check the bad reviews, they're able to understand how you respond to it. And they will actually see you as a human versus like, oh, this is like a perfect store. Like, no, I'm not buying it. There was actually a story when I was at Angie's List, and Angie's really list is really Angie now is really big on reviews. Like that was their whole thing, right? I had a guy who closed a $12,000 contract um, because of a bad review, because he got on there and kind of explained his situation in a very nice way. And he would ask every single customer, "Hey, why'd you decide to go with us?" And the customer specifically said it was because of the way you responded to this 1-star review. And so,
Yeah.
um, continue to get reviews, even though some of them that come in might be bad. Continue to do it. If for some reason you're like, I'm really struggling, reach out to us, reach out to me. Literally, I'll help you guys out personally. Also, a friend of mine is in this chat, Brett Lyon. He works for Laundra Boost. Reach out to them as well. I know he wants to help. He helps with a lot of like Google Ads as well. Like there are resources inside sort of like the Sense ecosystem. Reach out to us. We want to help.
Honestly, and Laura in the chat also just said something. She said, bad reviews make you look real. All good reviews looks like fake. And by the way, I went to a restaurant in Miami. I was just looking, I found something with like 4.9 stars. I was like, okay. The food was, the service was, and I didn't understand why they got like 30,000 five, 4.9, whatever. And at the end of the meal, the waitress was like, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a review. And she like put her QR code in my face. And I was like, okay, and I like left a review and I was like so pressured. She was standing there while I left the review. That wasn't necessarily the way to do it. But I afterwards was like, oh, that's why they got 5-star reviews. It was like peer pressure at the table. And if I left and I left a review, I probably wouldn't have because it was neither here nor there. It wasn't that exciting. It was like a 3-star experience, to be honest. So yeah. Anyways, bad reviews make you too many real reviews. Something is suspicious.
All right, Sivan, I know we have 2 minutes left. Can
Yeah,
I
sorry.
a few more slides left? Is that okay?
Oh, oh, I had no idea.
Okay.
I have a hard stop at 1 o'clock, so or Pacific time. So let's
Okay.
see what we could do in a minute and a half.
Okay. You guys ready?
Yes.
So my father always taught me practice what we preach. If you would, please scan the QR code and leave us a review. If you feel like this has benefited you at all, so you can scan it or you can hop onto Google Maps and just type in Sense New York City and feel free to leave a review. Even if this hasn't helped you at all, if any of our software has helped you, feel free to leave a review.
That is what a class act, mic drop, way to go. Well done. We also, by the way, suffer from 1-star reviews because of like some, rogue Uber drivers or something, yeah, no, really appreciate it. No pressure, as Brian says. Thank you, Brian, my king of Google reviews. If you are lucky enough to engage with any of our CSMs, you can always reach out with any questions and feedback. And we're just so excited to bring topics that hopefully help you help grow your business and help this industry continue to thrive. Brian, anything before we wrap?
That's it. Good luck, guys. Again, last thing, and I already said this, but I want to reiterate it. Feel free to reach out to us. We want to be a resource so that you guys can grow. Our goal is to help you guys win.
We appreciate you. Thank you so much. We'll see you all very soon at the next one. Thanks, Brian. You crushed it. Okay, bye.